Hello, my name is Zach from WorleyTutorials.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the colors in Adobe Illustrator CS6. Now in our previous videos in this series, I did talk about the fill and the stroke of these objects, and we are now going to talk about specifically the colors that go into the fills and the strokes. Before we jump directly into Illustrator, what I would like to talk about is kind of the just very briefly the theory behind color. For some of us who are not color savvy, there is a website called colorschemedesigner.com. I'll put a link in that under this video, but it kind of illustrates for us Illustrator. It illustrates. See what I did there? It illustrates for us how colors work. So right here you have mono. This is our overall choice for the scheme. And if we choose red, then it's going to give us different shades within that one color. Now if we move this around, you can obviously see that the shades are staying similar, but the color is changing. If you want to change the scheme, you can go down here to Adjust Scheme, and you can actually change the shading of it to make it a little bit darker, or make the contrast brighter, or actually more intense or less intense. But once we have chosen the colors, that's the first step. The second step is to kind of change the shade if necessary. Now here's why I wanted to go to this website. Aside from it being an incredibly awesome free tool, it also kind of shows us what's happening in colors. So mono, we get that one. Complement, that basically means that you have these two options. So on this color wheel, if I have orange, or if I choose kind of an orange yellowish, then this blue turquoise is going to be the complement to that color. So here's our primary color, and then this is our complementary color. So you do want to kind of, when you're trying to make color decisions on logos or on simply a document design, anything like that, you do want to make wise decisions on your colors. If you're trying to go for a complementary color, then and if you have no idea what you're doing, then go to colorschemedesigner.com and you can use this freely. Now the next one is triad, which is kind of what you might think. But here's the cool thing: you can adjust the second and third color option, and then the primary, as soon as you move it around, it kind of adjusts with you. So this one is a little bit more free flowing than the complementary. Moving on from there, of course, after 3 options, you have 4 options, and so on and so forth. So you can kind of play around on this website and see exactly what you want to do. Now the cool thing about it is if you hover over this, you'll see the hex number, and I'll explain what that is in a second. But if you're looking for that color specifically, then you just want to jot down that hex number, and then I'll show you how to input that into Illustrator, and you can use that exact color. The last thing is this color list. As soon as you do choose what you want, if you want to get this color scheme, then what you can do is just write down all of these hex numbers down here at the bottom, and you will have that color scheme. And I'll show you how to save those swatches here in just a second. So that is an amazing free tool, colorschemedesigner.com. Back in Illustrator, we do have some tools to kind of help us out as far as color choices, but right now I'm going to talk about the color swatches and how to choose your color specifically and how to enter the hex code. Gradients and stroke colors are going to be in the next videos following this one. So up here at the top, you have your fill drop down menu. And it kind of opens up. It's not a true panel, but it kind of is. There's also the exact same thing over here, the swatches panel. This is technically a true panel, but it's kind of an easy shortcut for us over here. And by default, you have your colors here that are just very basic, most used type of colors. If you hover over it, you'll see that it says CMYK, and it has colors following those. I'm sorry, numbers following those letters. That just basically means that you have 90% cyan in this green. You have 90% cyan, 30% magenta, 95% yellow, and 30% key. Imagine it as if you're a painter and you have your color palette and you take a little bit of cyan and a little bit of white and a little bit of key, and you kind of mix it in to get the color that you want. That's exactly what's happening here. It's just digital. So it's a little bit more specific than just dabbling in the different colors. Now, if you're not happy with any of these choices, that you just want something that's, let's say, earth tone, okay? Yes, these browns are here, but you want something that's maybe a little bit more blue, but earth tone. If you come down to the bottom of this panel, you have this Swatch Libraries menu. If you click on that, and you'll see a ton of different options, which is a lot of fun, and I encourage you to go through these and just kind of see what kind of colors they have for you. But again, if you're looking for a kind of a bluish earth tone, then you simply go to earth tone, and it opens up this dialog box for you. It's a panel all by itself of just the color swatches. And there you go. You have a kind of a bluish earth tone type of blue. Now you'll see these little folders here. These swatches can be saved into groups. So you have earth tone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and each one of these will show you. It'll house these different folders of colors. So it's very, very well organized. They try to make it as easy as possible to get the colors out that you want. And so that is one of the best ways that you can quickly choose a color. Moving over, you have Show Swatch Kinds menu, so you can kind of filter through. You can also, if you add some of these colors up here, but that are like created by you, then you can group them, kind of like how these are right here, the grays and the brights. And then you can also add a new color swatch. Now this is where it gets kind of cool. You can choose the color type, and you can also choose the color mode, which we talked about a little bit as far as your overall document in the new dialog box. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a second, but in this case, I'm just going to leave it RGB. And you can see that red, green, blue, if I add red to this, it's going to make it a little bit more of this red color, which you can see here. Now, if I'm going to take green out, it's going to make it more pink. So that's how this this color menu works. If I add more blue, it's going to push it to more of a purple, and so on and so forth. So you can kind of create your own options, your own colors, and then hit OK, and it will actually bring it into your swatches, and you can select it, and there you go. You've created your own color, and you've put it in the film. And of course, if you want to get rid of that, then you just simply select that swatch and hit the little trash can here. And yes, I want to delete. I do want to talk also about this color guide. This is kind of like a just a quick, easy color guide for if you don't really know what colors go with this blue. Then what it does is it analyzes what color you have here, and it tells you, hey, these colors work well with the color that you have, and these are the different shades of these colors. So it's very, very helpful. Of course, you can go and take a look at Color Scheme Designer as well, and kind of use both of those to make a wise decision on your color choice. Now, we talked about the RGB and the CMYK. So let's say you don't want to go and make a whole new design, like you don't want to open up a whole new document just for the same exact design in CMYK if you're going to make it for print. So instead of going up to File, New Document, and going through that whole process, you can actually change this document before you export into the correct color mode. Now, the reason you want to change the color modes is because if you're doing RGB, it needs to be made for screen. So iPhones, websites, videos, anything like that is going to be RGB. Anything in print is going to be CMYK. So I can go up here to File, Document Color Mode, and I can change the entire document to CMYK color mode. And you'll see that when I come up here to my, or actually whenever I come to add a new color, I now have CMYK as my options instead of RGB. And it functions exactly the same. If I add yellow, it's going to kind of make this green, and if I take it out, it's going to make it more blue. And what's really cool is you can see right here, this is the percentage of how much that color is added. And then you have the swatch name, which gives you the amount of key, yellow, and so on. And then you can also you can save the hex number. Now, the hex number is how you get it specific colors. So if I come over here to my palette, color palette, you'll see this number right here. It's kind of a weird code. This earth tone-ish blue is 466B7A. If I was to change the color mode back to RGB, that number would change. So that's an important note for you to note. So for some of those colors it will change, for some of them they won't. It just depends on the type of color itself. Now, this number is very, very important, because if you are trying to make a logo for somebody like a school and they have school colors that are specific, and that, a lot of times you'll get clients that'll say, oh, yeah, our school colors are blue. Okay, here's all the blue options. You have different shades, you have different colors, you have different types of blues. You need to know specifically what kind of blue, and that's where this hex number comes in handy. So again, if you're looking at the color scheme here, and I hover over this pink, then that number that you see that's attached to my cursor is D40748. So I could go and type that in right here, and it will give me exactly that color pink that I'm looking for. So that's kind of how you that's how you control the colors of the fill and the stroke. It's essentially the same thing. It's just on the outside of the object or the inside of the object. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about gradients and how to control the gradients, and also how to control the strokes a little bit more.